Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm the Queen of York and I love to play The Sims. I have for a long time and I'll continue playing it for a long time still. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you stay updated every time I post a new video. So in today's video I wanted to share a speed build that I've done for a Let's Play Strangerville. I know a lot of people have already played the storyline for Strangerville, and there's been a lot of YouTubers who have already done the storyline and LP, but I didn't know whether I was going to play or get Strangerville because I like to play The Sims because I can make up my own storyline. But I watched Plumbella's Strangerville Let's Play and she only did 4 parts, so the actual story never ended, and I was intrigued, and instead of watching somebody else play it, I thought I'll play it myself, but I will incorporate the Strangerville storyline with my own gameplay storyline. And so I bought the game pack and I created this Victorian semi-Gothic house, and I think it looks really cool. So I wanted it to be in keeping with the other houses in the area. So this house is located in the cliff area of the desert and it's in the gated community, so all the houses are a little bit more fancy, they're a bit larger, and I wanted it to be as interesting, I suppose, as the other houses in the neighborhood. So they're all this Victorian style and they're all very tall buildings. So I tried to build a Victorian style house without using the 1.5 height walls, and it just looked so small compared to the other houses in the area. So this is 3 stories, but only 2 stories are livable and used, and they are both 1.5 height walls, and then the top floor, which is just a dormer that is just 1 square wide, and the octagonal room that is just normal height. But none of it's usable because it's just not a big enough space. But I tried to use a lot of Strangerville build and buy mode objects just because it's brand new and it's fun to play around with the new objects and stuff that you get. And the stuff that come with the pack is just amazing. It is so pretty and so well made and put together. I really love this the spindles and the columns that come with it. It's just really pretty. It's got this like really elegant Victorian feel, and you can make semi like storybook houses, you know, like what you see in like I don't know, like Once Upon a Time and stuff like that, where they have these like really ornate buildings. And this pack kind of gives you the accessories you need to make your houses a bit more interesting and elaborate. That's the word, elaborate. So the roofing for this build took so long. I actually did a different roof initially and it just looked awful. I hated it. I liked the shape of the house itself, but I couldn't get the roof to fit properly, so I actually ended up changing it slightly, and I deleted everything else because it took hours and I thought you probably don't want to watch me play around with a roof that I then delete anyway. So I just kept this last bit in so you can see kind of how the roof came together in the end. But as you can see, the dormers, they were bigger initially, but it just didn't fit with the roofing. So I ended up just making the dormers just 1 square wide, like I said. So they are not usable at all, but it's just like an aesthetic thing and just makes it look Victorian and fit in with the other houses. So this house is for the Rosenthal family. They are made up of Andrea and Rylan, who are married. Andrea is in the military career, or well, they were both created through the story function in The Sims 4 that came with the update, and Andrea was put in the secret agent career, but I wanted to be in the military career, so I thought that's a perfect way of starting the story. So the idea is that Andrea is has always wanted to be in the military, and actually got headhunted from the secret agent career to the military, and offered a position and a house. That's why they live in such a grand house when she is not very high in the career yet. So they live in this house in Strangerville, so they've just moved into their new town and new area. I'm thinking they're probably from like Willow Creek or Oasis. No, what's it called? Oasis Springs, yeah. And then they've moved to Strangerville, to this beautiful house with beautiful surroundings. And Andrea is very uptight. She is a bit more put together and prim and proper, whereas Rylan, her wife, is a bit more hippie and bohemian. She is very interested in making sure that everyone eats healthily, and she is in the culinary career. She is a caterer, so she's got a garden in the back because she's a botanist as well. That's her aspiration. She's got a little garden where she cooks. No, she doesn't. She grows her own fruit and veg, so that she can cook with all fresh ingredients straight from the garden, so that her family can eat the best possible foods. And she's also got some beehives so that she can collect her own honey, and everything is all very healthy and fabulous for her family. They have got a daughter which they conceived via IVF. Her name is Emily, and she is a young child in school. So she's just started school and moved to this new town. Hasn't got any friends, so they've moved and starting their life over again, basically. Emily is a mix of her two parents. So she is a bookworm because her mom, Andrea, wants her to be the best she possibly can be, and is always pushing her to do better and better in school. Whereas Rylan is a bit more free-spirited and wants Emily just to have the best childhood and upbringing possible, and have fun and enjoy life. So she has got these conflicting pulls from each parent, so she's just navigating that. So back to the house, now that you know a bit about the family. So I'm just trying to work out how to make the back a bit more interesting, because the back is just flat, so there's loads of angles and shapes on the front and the one side, and I felt like the back was boring and flat, so I just wanted to add some porch or wraparound or something just to give it a bit more of an interesting shape and not so flat. In the end, I did go with a very simple porch shape, and it comes together a bit more later on once I decide the internal layout a little bit better. But this is the point where I start playing around with the colours of the roof and the outside wall textures. So I wanted the roofs to be, initially I wanted it to be different colours. So the roofs on the lower level were going to be this bright red, and then a darker colour on the top roof. But it was quite difficult to find a colour that matched the wall coverings to match the roofs, the two different colours, and tie it all together quite nicely. And I also thought there might be just a little bit too much going on, especially with the different colours of the railing. So on the bottom there's the white like picketed sort of fencing, and then the top, or the second level, there's that spiky black fencing, which is a little bit gothic. So in the end I did decide to make the roofs all one colour, and I really wanted to use like this panelled siding wood wall covering on the outside. It was just choosing the colour that would fit it best. In the end I went with dark roof, so it was a black roof with this green coloured siding, and then all the accenting features such as the columns and the windows were all changed to white, so they just popped a little bit, and then the trim was also white on the roofs, just to give it that pop against that very dark black of the roof. But in the end it all kind of fits in quite nicely with the other houses in the neighbourhood, because they all have their own colour. So I was trying to be different but still make it stand out. So I didn't use white on the walls, which I wanted to because I really wanted to have like a bright roof, but just up the road from this house is a house with like a white siding and orange roof. So I was like, I want to be different. So in the end, I just stuck with this green and black roof. For the layout, it was quite simple in terms of the layout. I do change it in the end, but I wanted it to be quite simple because it's like a Victorian house. So if you think about a Victorian house, it's generally you walk in, there's like an entryway, hallway, and then the rooms kind of go off that entryway with the stairs in the entryway. And the kitchen is normally at the back of the house, in an English house anyway, and the lounge is at the front. So I was just trying to play around with the floor plan, and the downstairs was just a bit larger than I initially thought. So the kitchen is this really long room, and there's this bit dissectioned off at the back on the side, which I wanted to be a bathroom, but with that bench there, it just wouldn't fit. So in the end, I did move the kitchen to the front of the house, which is different to what I initially thought I would do and traditional for this area anyway. But I do move it into the back of the house eventually, but I just play around and I find the best layout because I still wanted to have the bathroom in that back corner. So I just play around with the idea of having the kitchen with very simple white cabinets or counters, and then a wood like bar, breakfast bar. That's what it's called, breakfast bar. I cannot find my words today. I am so sorry. Anyway, yeah, keeping the colors very simple. So copper hood with black appliances, so black stove and black fridge, just to give it that pop of color. And then I had these rustic chairs for the bar stools, which I think are so nice and I've never used. I actually use so many objects I've never used before in a build. I think that's because I generally probably aim towards more of a contemporary build style. So using a Victorian build kind of made it less restricting for the interior. I didn't go particularly old or Victorian with the furnishings inside, so it was meant to be like a mix of what you would see when someone moves into a Victorian house. I kind of like to keep it quite they like it to fit the exterior of the house, but they still have their own unique pieces and stuff that they put together, so it's not all like Victorian or vintage. So it's like a nice mixture basically. So I really liked the contrast of the white and the black, which gave it this modern feel but still fitted in with the Victorian house. And I wanted to use open shelving instead of cabinets. I did try to use cabinets and it just didn't work. So I'm just trying to find some things to fill the open shelves. I wish they did like little stacks of plates or mugs in different colors. That would be so cool just to put on shelves and have like open shelving. But going through all the items, I just found some things that you would kind of typically have on a shelf or in a cupboard. So there's some spices, some utensils, and these display plates, which I was initially going to have these like ornate Victorian like old pattern on it, but then when I went through the swatches, there was these really cute prints that looked like a child's done it. I thought they're like really proud moms, they would probably put up Emily's artwork in the kitchen and on the fridge. So I thought that was so cool, and so a nice little feature to make it a bit more homely. So I did that. And then at this point I wanted to put a dining room table and I didn't know where to put it, so I just extend the kitchen out in the end, so it fills the whole side of the house, and then put a dining room table right at the front in these big windows, which I really liked the layout. The only thing I didn't like was that there was this huge section at the side of the house, right at the back there, next to the kitchen, where I didn't have anything, or I didn't know what to put there to fill that space. So there was just like a big void of area that wasn't used, because the door is there. So in the end, I do play around with the floor plan a little bit, and I like the way it turned out in the end, and it's a bit more traditional. But this floor plan is good as well. So if you did want to use this floor plan, just change the house back around to how it is now, and it all fits just fine, but it's up to you. But for the dining room table, I wanted to have a circular table because I never use that, and these like farmhouse chairs, which I think came with the Cats and Dogs or Seasons expansion pack, I'm not sure. But again, I never use those either, and I've always wanted to use it, and it just makes it look like it's a real traditional like home. Like, just makes you feel like you're at someone's house where they bake cookies and stuff like that. I don't know, I just really love it. For the lounge, I wanted to have a fireplace just to give it a cozy Victorian feel, and I wanted it to look like it was original to the house. And then in this bay window, I tried to put in this the bay window couches or sofas, which I've never used as a bay window either, or never used in a bay window, should I say. So I built out this bay window at the back of the house, and I thought this is the perfect thing for people to use if they're leaving the house and they like putting their shoes on. So I put that there and just built the house out a little bit with some windows. And then in the lounge, I wanted it to be very simple with this really comfy looking sofa and these chairs that had the little cushions on. And initially I wanted it to be pink, but lately I've been using a lot of pink chairs in my builds. So I thought, play around with the colours. So I just went through the swatches and I found this really amazing polka dot print for the chairs, which I just love so much. And then I just changed the sofa to like a blue colour just to give it a pop of colour, because I felt like everything was just a bit too white, and I just wanted it to be a bit more colourful and feel like they're a bit trendy. And the wallpaper, I used this really old looking like vintagey wallpaper with the wainscoting, because again I wanted it to feel like it belonged in the house. So the furniture is a little bit more updated and modern, but not super modern, and then the wallpaper is like this old-fashioned wallpaper that kind of comes with the house, and you know, they just don't change it because they're living here and they got the house free with the military. So that was kind of the idea, but you can see there's that big open space there in the lounge, which I just didn't like at all. And I realised I've got this section here in the entryway, a bay window. I don't even know. I can't even speak today. I'm so tired. There's a bay window, so I thought I'd pop that straight in there and put the back wall back how it was before, even though there's this huge section at the back. And this is the point when I was like, oh, it's such a waste of space. It's just, I could use this for something. So I do change the layout a bit on the entryway. I wanted it to be very traditional with like a little place to put your shoes and coats, a mirror to check what you look like before you leave the house, and a little entryway table. So the entryway is very simple, but this is where I use the room tool. So I just divided the space up into rooms using like fencing, the really low fencing, and just copied the rooms out of the house, and then I just placed the rooms back in, and then just moved around a couple of things so it fits into the space properly. The windows doubled up, so I had to delete all of those, and but everything fitted in pretty well. And then the only thing that was difficult or that I had to change was the placement of the back door, which is fine because I just put the house, so the section at the back, I put the bathroom in that section, and I moved the door, you'll see in a minute, to by the dining room table. And then that section that used to have the door then became the bathroom, or the downstairs toilet, which is kind of what I wanted in the first place. There is still a bit of space that is empty in the lounge, but it's not as big, and it'll be used for other things. I'm sure they'll want to buy some stuff, and I think Andrea is actually going to need some workout equipment, so maybe a treadmill or something can go there just to inspire her to work out and keep fit and on track for her military career. But yeah, so just trying to fix the floor plan and get everything in the right areas and then the right colours for the wallpapers, because I liked how everything looked. It's just getting it to fit nicely with the new floor plan. Know what we're doing now. I think we're working on the entryway. So for the walls, I wanted a bit of colour. Again, I'm trying not to use too much white because in my real life I like a white wall, but this is The Sims and I can play around with colours a bit more sometimes, so I just wanted to have a colourful wall. So I went with this like light green bluey wall for the entryway, and now I'm building out the bathroom or the downstairs toilet, and I wanted the walls to be this really dark blue with the I think it's called crown molding, the like wood bit that goes around the top of the roof, and then the skirting board, which is white, for a nice different feel. And then the porch, because I've moved the door, I just had to build it out a bit and change where the stairs were so that it looked like it fitted correctly with the stairs, so you just walk straight to get down to the garden instead of walking all the way through the patio. But it just gave the back of the house a bit more of an interesting shape and less straight and boxy. And in the downstairs toilet, it's very simple. So it's got these wooden counters, I think it's wooden white counters, a toilet, and then a little bit of art on the walls, which I really love. The art that I use it quite a lot in this house and in other builds, to be honest. And then for the entryway, I wanted to include a rug, but I just couldn't find one that kind of fitted with the feel I was going for. I wanted to find like sort of a welcome mat sort of thing that they just clean their feet on as they come in, but just nothing was kind of fitting with the idea I had. So in the end, I just left it bare, but you can add a rug if you like. And then I'm still just working out the floor plan because I wasn't happy with how everything was laid out, because I wanted the mirror above the entryway table, just so you kind of put your keys there and then you walk out the door and you look at yourself before you leave. Make sure everything's correct as you're picking up your keys. So for upstairs, the floor plan came together, or the layout came together really easily. Pretty much straight away I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted the master bedroom to be this really large space where they can just relax and just be parents and get away and have like their own little section. And then there's ensuite bathroom, which was meant to be like a dream master bathroom even. But working out the color scheme for the master bedroom took a while because I just struggle with bedrooms. With the swatches that we have, to get something that goes well with it, I always tend to go with the white bedding options, because then you can play around with the colours in the rest of the room. But otherwise I feel like they're really restricting if I use a coloured bedspread. So I went with a white option, and then I tried out this dark like forest green wall, but nothing was really going well with it. I just felt like all the furniture was just a bit too dark and the room just felt dark. So in the end I do change up to a lighter tone, and but I was determined to use wood elements because I felt like that made it feel a bit more homey, and like they had furniture that they had it in their previous house and they moved it into this one. And I know that like everyone's got those like old like wood chest of drawers, and I felt like they would have it too. But at this point I was still trying to work out the floor plan, or where I was going to put the furniture. I really wanted to put like the bed facing the bay window, with the like getting ready section behind the bed, but in the end I stuck with this kind of layout with the bed on the wall with an ottoman at the bottom, and I really wanted a fireplace just to make it feel warm and cozy, a bit homey. I mean, it's a sim, so you can use a fire on the second floor, but in the UK you can't use a working fire in a second story. You can only do it on a ground floor. So taking advantage of the lax health and safety rules in The Sims. But yeah, so the walls are now this lighter purple shade with the crown molding and skirting boards, which are white, just to give it this really like polished feel and make it feel like it is original features to the house. But then the furniture isn't overly Victorian or vintage. It's got like some modern feeling furniture with these with the side tables that came with, I think it was the Master Suite stuff pack, which I use all the time. I really love these side tables. And then like a little seating area with a reading light in the bay window, so they can just relax and look out the window if they wanted to. And then I just wanted a lighter wood floor, so this, like, they've just taken the carpet off the floor and they haven't bothered to replace the floorboards, so it's just like the bare floorboards with a big rug to cover it. So it's like they tried not to do very much because they couldn't afford it, but they still made it look comfy and cozy. And the master bathroom is just so luxurious. It's got this big claw tub bath in the bay window, so they can relax in the bath and look out the window and look at the beautiful scenery. They have got a shower because sometimes there's just no time for a bath and you need a shower. So I've got the shower, which I've just clipped into the wall so you don't see the tile mosaic that's in the shower. And this is from Jungle Adventure, the Jungle Adventure game pack, I think. Yeah, it's a game pack. And then for the walls, I do really love the Jungle Adventure mosaic wall, but I just felt like it didn't go with the style of the house and the vibe I was feeling. So in the end, I go with the modern tiles that came with the Spa Days pack, I think. And the flooring in the bathroom was quite old feeling, which I thought was quite nice, and kind of goes, quite dark, which goes with the overall look because the counters are like a dark blue and then the towels are a dark blue as well. So overall, the bathroom is quite dark. The kids' room came together so easily and quite quickly. I really like this rug, which is from Strangerville Game Pack, and it's really cute and looks like something you get from IKEA, which is just cute. I love it. I have downsized it. I'm just working out the orientation of the bed, and the rug took a little bit of time, but once I had that, the room came together so easily. I love working with an odd shaped room because it just makes you a little bit more creative with the space and how you use it. And she has everything she could possibly need. She's got like her medieval castle, which I think I do change for the Victorian house, dollhouse. She's got a little study space with a beautiful lava lamp, again that came with Strangerville, which paints the room like this pink colour, which I thought was just so cute and what any kid would want, a little girl. And then she's got this collage of, or gallery wall of like pets pictures, because she's a kid and it's cute. And it's not her own dog or cat because she hasn't got any pets, but I just thought it kind of fitted with the idea. And then the walls were just a white wall because the lava lamp made everything quite pink, so we need to keep it quite simple, so that it wasn't like just too much colour or too pink, because there is such a thing as too pink, and we don't want to be too stereotypical just because she's a girl. And then she did get some window drapage with the curtains. I think they came with the kids stuff pack. No, toddlers, I don't know. It came with one of them, maybe pets. And I really love these bookshelves, which I included in the lounge, which looks like they were like built-in shelving that you get in Victorian houses in the UK. So I included that. And then they got a little study area on the landing, just so that they can use a computer. So it's very small because they don't need much, just a little table and a computer with a little bit of artwork and a plant. I can't remember now. I think I put a little plant, but it's very, very, very simple. Little study on the landing. In the back garden, they have a big pool, because I thought, I mean, why not? They have this big space, and I didn't really want to do landscaping, in all honesty. So I gave them a nice big pool so they could lounge around and look at the views of the desert or craters or whatever. But their garden is pretty nice. So for the family bathroom, I wanted to have a shower and bath combo, but I didn't like the options, and I always go for the same shower and bath tub. So I just in the end had a freestanding shower, a bath and a toilet with some cabinets. It's very simple, and by this point I was bored, in all honesty, of furnishing, and I was like, I've got landscaping to do, and I just hate landscaping. Also, with the new world, I wanted to try and keep it quite similar to the surrounding areas, but I didn't want it to be too deserty, because as you can see, there's a lot of cacti and prickly bushes. So I thought just a couple of trees and some bushes, because I didn't want to be too over the top, even though Rylan does like to do gardening. She's got a few bushes which are nicely pruned and that she maintains, but it's not over the top. And also I thought that all the plants that create like this border, that was kind of their hedge and their fencing. So I didn't want to do a fence around their property, so it kind of looks like their garden goes all the way to the edge, and that is the plants that Rylan looks after as well. So I thought this middle bit could be quite simple and not have harsh borders, so that it looks like it kind of fits nicely. But there's the big pool with this black decking and a swing for little Emily to play with friends when she makes friends at school and they come over to visit, and also for her just to entertain herself so she can be outdoors, because I think Rylan would definitely encourage her to be outdoors a bit more. And then this is Rylan's little vegetable patch and bee area, but basically that is the whole of the outdoor space. And there's also this little patio sofa section so that they can watch the sunset over the cliffs and have the beautiful views. But yeah, that is pretty much the house. So from the front, this is what it looks like with the amazing views of the canyons around the property, and it's just so nice. The Strangerville world is just so beautiful. The Sims developers did such a good job with this world. It is so nice, and you don't have that horrible lighting effect that you get in Oasis Springs, because Oasis Springs is quite similar because it's a desert world, but they've got this weird lighting glitch where the white doesn't quite look white and the colours don't come out quite right on the buildings, but you don't have that in this world. So you kind of can have your deserty world but with the right lighting. But this is just the overviews of the inside of the house, and I hope you guys like it. If you do, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you stay updated every time I post a video. If you do want to download this video, not this video, sorry, the house. You can find me in the gallery at the Queen of York, and all my builds are in there, and you can also come back and watch the Let's Play where we will see the Rosenthal's lives pan out and see if they can discover the mystery of their new town Strangerville when things just aren't quite right. Anyway, I'll see you guys again soon. Dag dag!